Hello everybody, so today I'm continuing my journey through the Women's Prize long list, and we have got Memphis by Tara Stringfellow. Right, not often too good to start a book review with a silence. My basic summary is this: it needed to be longer in order to hit home the message it was trying to deliver, but that's not to say it isn't an enjoyable read. Okay, so it's a lovely short book from Tara Stringfellow. This is her debut. Memphis is a fictional account of 3 generations of black women living in Memphis, Tennessee. We start with the breakdown of a marriage in turn of the century US, where a mother is fleeing her abusive husband with her 2 kids, her 2 daughters, to go back to her family home in Memphis. There she's reconciled with her sister, and together they try and build the bonds of their new chosen families together, as they also have flicks forward and past into the future of the children, the young daughters, as well as into their mother who built the house in Memphis. It is a lovely idea. I love multi-generational books. I love the way alternative chapters go across the generations, and then as you get the way through the book, you start to see how the pieces come together and family lives have been built, how emotional capacity and emotional, what's the word that I'm looking for? You know how some people come to make the decisions that they do. What are the reasons for that? What is the background behind those kind of decisions? And the way it all comes together. That's always an enjoyable book structure for me. I really do love it. And of course, it is really lovely to have a multi-generational book set in a city that also is a character. So you really feel Memphis in its various seasons throughout this book, which is lovely. The challenge is this book is only 250 pages. And in a multi-generational book, you don't have enough time to get through the surface of a lot of the characters. So what happens in Memphis is a number of the characters get stuck in stereotypes. And this is particularly true of the men in these women's lives. In the past, the main black male, the husband who built the house, is murdered in a lynching. The next generation is a violent father and a violent husband. The generation after that is a black gang member. These are very stereotypical depictions of black men. And if you want to interrogate that, you need to be able to bring more nuance to that. And at 250 pages, we didn't get enough nuance. But also on the plus side is Tara really develops 3 fascinating generations of women. You have Joan, who is the youngest daughter, the young daughter who we follow into the future. She is really talented, with a great artistic talent and a potential to break the chain, to break the cycle, and to move on and out in the world in a way that her parents and her grandparents could only hope for. You have a mother who makes profound sacrifices and powerful decisions in order to give her children the next step, the next hope. You have a wonderful sister who runs a hair salon in Memphis, which of course is very rich, fertile ground to bring in new characters and to really bring to life the community that surrounds these women, including some fascinating neighbours. And you also have Hazel, the matriarch, the grandmother from the past, who is the foundation for this house in Memphis. The purpose of this book, I think Tara's purpose, is to show, let me put this book down, is to show 2 things, I think. Her black men, whichever generation, are stuck in a cycle of violence. The black women, through their own inner strength and strong emotional connections with each other and the very powerful, real sense of sisterhood across the generations and within the communities, shows that black women break the chain, that they can break the cycle and the burden that has been placed upon them by white America and by their experiences and history. That is an incredible message. It's wonderful. You just don't really get there because this book is too short. Instead, what you have is a collection of very wonderful Black American women. I would pick about 3 or 4 characters in here that really shine, such as the sister who runs the hair salon. You have the neighbour who's got a touch of witchcraft about her, but in profoundly spiritual and truthful. You have the Hazel, who is the grandmother figure, who is the woman who built this house and also is the stoic who found inner strength to keep going when incredible violence and loss was inflicted on her. These are really interesting women. They have spark, they have personality. And there's also something very fascinating about Joan, about the young girl as she grows up and what she has to face and the decisions she has to make for forgiveness and the capacity to move on. This is really good, but it's also thin. So look, I can see why Memphis by Tara Stringfellow wasn't shortlisted. It needed to be longer, and I don't often say about books that they need to be longer, but Tara was onto something here. I really liked the ideas that she had, and I really wanted to hear more about Memphis, and I really want to hear more about the women in the hair salon and the sense of sisterhood. All of this I wanted more of. She could bring more nuance and more inner turmoil, for example, to the mother who has to leave and feels that she has to leave an abusive relationship for herself, for her own physical safety, as well as the future of her children. There's a lot to interrogate there. But instead, we don't get too far beyond just superficial, strong women archetypes. And I'd love there to be more, because life is hard, life is complicated, and you can still do incredible service to these women by also showing them without having to obscure moments of doubt or confusion. Like they can still be strong, powerful women we want to go along with without them being flawless all the time. So I enjoyed Memphis, and it has amazing cover art. The paperback also has cover art as well, that's fantastic. And I really do think Tara Stringfellow is a great talent. She has a great talent for character and the weaving of this multi-generational. I love it. I have a weakness for it all the time. I just wanted more. So Memphis was good, be a lovely summer read, could have been excellent. Memphis by Tara Stringfellow.